Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to today's reading lesson. Today, we're going to be talking about illustrations. So let's go ahead and go over our I can statement. I can use illustrations and details in a text to describe its key details. So remember when we've been talking about main topic and those key details, the supporting details? Now we're going to be looking at illustrations and ways to figure out what those key details are, okay? How do the illustrations help you understand key details? Before we read our book for today, I would like to go over our sight words. Who could tell me what this word is? Put, right. What's this word? Because, good job. What's this word? Sound. What's this word? New. What's this word? Over. Good job. For our book today, we're going to be reading, it's kind of going along with, now we're going to be in October. Today's the first day of October. I'm super excited. I love fall. The Pumpkin Book by Gail Gibbons. We're only going to read about half of it today, and then we'll finish the other half tomorrow. Pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes. Pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes. Pumpkins are members of the squash family. There are many different kinds of pumpkins. Small pumpkins, big pumpkins, round pumpkins, tall pumpkins. Gardeners and farmers call them pumpkin varieties. Some pumpkins have smooth skin and others have lots of bumps. So, this is the Dill's Atlantic Giant Pumpkin, Jack B. Little Pumpkin, Baby Bear, Connecticut Field, Lumina Pumpkin, Small Sugar Pie Pumpkin, Big Max, Red October, and you can tell that it has a rough or bumpy skin. And then the Trick or Treat pumpkin. So all of those are different types of pumpkins. In the springtime, when the sun's rays begin to warm the soil, it is planting time. Some gardeners turn the soil to get it ready to plant small pumpkin patch. A pumpkin patch is where pumpkins grow. So what do you think the main topic of this book is? Pumpkins, right? It's all about pumpkins. Well, you could use this illustration to tell you that that's a pumpkin patch and that's where pumpkins grow, right? Some farmers use their plows to slice through and turn over the dirt. The field will eventually become a huge pumpkin patch. That's where they're slicing through and turning over the dirt. The soil is ready. It is time to plant the pumpkin seeds. The beginning of a pumpkin is curled up inside each pumpkin seed. Food is stored there too. The seed has a seed coat on the outside to protect it. The bigger the seed, the bigger the variety of pumpkin that will grow. So if you have a smaller seed, it's going to be a smaller pumpkin, but if you have a bigger seed, it's going to be a bigger pumpkin. Now I want to look at this diagram here. Here, it's an illustration. I drew it up here a little bit bigger for you. As you can see, this is the seed, right? And it shows you that this is the seed coat. This is the food. This is the beginning of a pumpkin. It shows you how a pumpkin starts, right? So this illustration here helps you understand how a pumpkin starts, okay? It supports that main topic. Sometimes pumpkin seeds are planted in rows. Other times they are planted in small circular areas called hills. So see, sometimes they're planted in rows and sometimes they're planted in hills. Several shallow holes are poked into the hill and one pumpkin seed is dropped into each hole and covered with dirt. Each hill should be about 3 feet to 6 feet apart to give the plants lots of room to grow. A pumpkin seed won't sprout until the dirt is warm and water has soaked the seed to soften its coat. Once the seed coat breaks open, a root begins to grow down into the soil. It takes in water and minerals from the soil for food. After about 1 week, 2 leaves appear where each pumpkin seed was planted. These smooth leaves are called seed leaves. They begin to make more food for the plant from the sunlight and the air. So this is showing how a pumpkin is growing, a pumpkin life cycle. This is showing how a pumpkin is growing. After a few days, small pumpkin vine leaves appear. Pumpkin vine leaves. These leaves look different. They are prickly and have rough, jagged edges. More new vine leaves grow. Stems begin to grow and twist, crawling along the ground as they become vines. So they become vines. The vines grow thicker and thicker. They grow curly tendrils that wrap themselves around other parts of the plant to help spread the vines. Gold-colored flowers begin to bloom. So as you can see from this illustration, I read you this illustration. This is this picture right here. It is showing that whenever the vine leaves start to grow, they're a little jagged, a little rough. The vines are real thick, and then the tendrils come out and wrap themselves around other parts of the plant. And then I also showed the big sun, the golden colored flowers that are bursting out. This is showing that almost in the end, one of the final steps before pumpkins start to grow. A pumpkin begins to grow when a grain of pollen from the stamen of a male pumpkin flower lands on the stigma of a female pumpkin flower. This is called pollination. Sometimes pollen moves from flower to flower when the wind blows. Bees and other insects help pollinate too. Pollen rubs on and off their bodies as they travel from flower to flower in search of nectar. Nectar is the sweet juice flowers make. Okay, so bees pollinate, butterflies, hummingbirds pollinate. When they go from flower to flower, they move that pollen around. The female flower has a small green ball beneath its blossom. Okay, so this is the female flower. It has a small green ball beneath its blossom. When the flower is pollinated, the little ball begins to grow. It is a very small pumpkin. Over time, it becomes bigger. And bigger and bigger. The pumpkin skin begins to turn from green to orange. All of the pumpkins in the pumpkin patch begin to turn orange. So it gets bigger and bigger, and then they all start to turn orange. All the pumpkins turn from green to orange. That showed the pumpkin's life cycle, okay? So that showed how a pumpkin grows, right, from seed all the way into a pumpkin. So for your seesaw activity today, I'm going to show it to you. There'll be another read aloud of the pumpkin book if you need to watch it again. But you are going to do a pumpkin life cycle. So kind of like the book did here, you're going to be doing a pumpkin life cycle. Alrighty. So as you can see, I did an example of the life cycle of a plant. And when you click on this play button, you'll hear me go through and sort these pictures and the word cards into the appropriate order. Now this one is a cycle because a cycle is a circle. But your pumpkin life cycle goes from 1 through 5. And what you'll do is you will use the hand tool to move these picture cards that are down here to the appropriate spots, okay? So you'll move, if you think a flower comes first, or an orange pumpkin, or seeds, or a sprout, or a green pumpkin. You'll move them into the correct order. You'll move the word cards and the picture cards into the appropriate order. Then, when you're finished, you'll hit the green check to turn it in. If you need to, you can always come back. You can rewatch this lesson. You can reread the book that's attached to the lesson if you need to go back over a pumpkin life cycle. Thank you so much for joining me today, boys and girls. I'll see you next time. Bye.